Have you ever canoed down a babbling brook?
No, but I have cried at a Taco Bell.
Oh, same thing. Listen up, campers.
It's time to buckle up, pitch a tent, and take a hike.
Because Camp Counselors is a variety show.
So prepare for a good old-fashioned kumbaya,
Weird news,
hot gossip,
and scary stories around the campfire.
so spooky.
Is this podcast even about camping?
No, but it is camp. This is Camp Counselors. Hey, happy campers! Welcome back to Camp Shady Birch.
What did you say with that inclination?
I don't know what I was doing. I just told you before we started recording that I wanted to approach this episode with a fun, fresh, new attitude and new me. And I'm feeling embarrassed. I'm feeling like I don't like what I just did there. But what happens when you don't like what you just did?
You try again.
You keep going. The show must go on. Guess who's back? Back again.
It's us for the second time this week. Can you believe it?
We're here, we're queer, and we're not going anywhere.
It is week 81 here at Camp Shady Birch, or Camp Shady Birch.
If this was a maternity, an eternity of maternity, how long would this gestational period be? Like, how many babies could we have had by now?
2.
I always think it's quite wild when a woman goes back to back. My older siblings are Irish twins, but that's a year. But I know someone that's 10 months apart.
I've seen some videos of people who post online that are like, every year I've had a baby, and it's every year. I
kind of do love the idea that if you're already having kids, just keep going. Because, like, what's the point of waiting a long time? Like, my mom, I have 2 older siblings. My mom had a different marriage. And they're 10 and 9 years older than I am. And then my brother and me have the same parents, and we're like 2 years apart. But it's so crazy because my mom, she was like, they were like 8 and 9 when she had my brother. And then she's like, and let's do it again. Like, that's crazy.
Could never be me.
Do you think we're ever gonna have kids?
Maybe, but I'm not carrying.
Oh, you think I have to carry?
Yeah.
So my sister has a friend who is, I think she's 30. That's really inappropriate for me to even saying, like, it doesn't matter to the story.
That's fine. I'll bleep it.
So she is single. She doesn't have a man, but she wants a baby. So she's going through the sperm bank.
'Tis the season to just be an independent woman. Who cares?
So she told my sister, she goes, oh, will you help me pick a sperm donor? And I was like, that is quite possibly the coolest thing a friend could ever ask you. Like, oh, you want me to help you move? I'm going to fucking kill myself. Oh, you want me to watch your dog? It's like, I guess. It's like, but, oh, you want me to help you pick out the future father or the sperm donor of your future child?
Yeah, oh my God. We're going to sit down. We're going to grab some wine and we're going to swipe through them.
She sent me the link.
Oh, you've seen?
Oh, I've seen the prospects. First of all, it is quite insane. It's exactly what you think it is. They're broken down by height, by race, by eye color, by profession, by blood type. You get every single fact. And the thing is, to me, when you're looking for a sperm donor, and I've never done this, but I would just assume, I feel like what they do is so unimportant, because I know people who have parents that are literally drug addicts and in jail, and they're literal doctors. I know someone like that. I also know someone who has doctor parents who they're in jail. So it does not really matter, in my opinion, what someone does for work. But if you're looking for a certain aesthetic, like you don't want a short king, which is offensive because I am a short king, you can unselect short king box.
That is crazy. Technology is nuts. Do you get, I'm assuming, a picture of everybody, or is it anonymous?
Guess what the picture's of?
What? A celebrity?
Them as a baby.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting? So it wasn't, I think it's all what's available. It was nobody as an adult.
Okay.
It was the men as like mostly baby, toddler. Sometimes you get like an 8-year-old picture, I would assume. Not a picture of an 8-year-old, picture of the man as an 8-year-old.
Right.
But it was so fascinating. So I was like, Callan, you need to make a short list. She was like, no, I don't. And I was like, you're right. She needs to make a short list. And then you help whittle it down. Like, you don't need to be making active decisions for her. This is her child. But I thought it was so interesting. I was like, when she told me on the phone, I was like, stop the conversation. You're being coy. Forward me the link immediately.
That is crazy. I had no idea it works like that.
I know. I didn't even plan to talk about that today, but I just felt like I hadn't shared that with you.
It definitely doesn't seem HIPAA, but I'm hip to it.
Well, it kind of is HIPAA in the way that we don't get the names of the people or like their addresses. It's just a picture of a little them as a kid, and like, oh, I know that you're 6'2", your blood type is O positive, and you're a music theory major.
Do you know what your blood type is? I had it memorized once upon a time, but I forgot. I used to have a little card.
I am so embarrassed that I do not know my blood type. Will someone tell me? Is there an at-home test? I'm sure there is.
Yeah, probably.
I want to ask the campers out there. Campers, do you know your blood type? And if you don't, do you lie when people ask you? Because it's really embarrassing.
I forget what the rarest one is, but I want that one.
I think it's just O simple.
That doesn't sound right.
I'm O simple. I'm simple. I can be put anywhere.
Nothing about too simple, baby.
Anyways, back to the show, everybody. Before we get into it today for our opening segment, we have to address a couple issues that have been happening at camp.
And I think that it's kind of evident to all campers now. If you take a little look around. Look around.
Yeah, guys, it's April. We're in Q2. This is classic Q2 behavior. We have summer campers approaching in just a few short months. And a lot of you here illegally are all-season campers. This campground is only open, technically legally, as a summer camp.
Right.
But a lot of you have converted your personal cabins to all seasons. And we don't tell the police. The police leave us alone, obviously. But I'm looking around, and if you're here all season, if you're listening all year long, you are a part of the community. So we need to gather around and start cleaning up the camp, because the camp is in shambles. The snow melted months ago, and the paths look insane. I'm going by certain cabins, and I'm like, guys, it would behoove you to throw up some paint on your shingles.
Oh my God.
You essentially, if you have a cabin number that you've given to yourself, you own that cabin. Take care of it, please.
The dirt pathways are wet.
Yeah, they're all wet. And maybe it rained on them, maybe it didn't, but we don't know because we're not weatherman, okay? We're not Tony Petrarca.
I found an Xbox floating in the lake.
Yeah, and then we tested the lake after that with the fish pond strips, and it came back orange. And we threw out the packet. I don't even know what orange means.
So we shocked it. We shocked the lake.
We shocked the lake. So the fish that some of you put in the lake, they're gone.
Guys, basically what we're saying is we need to all just take accountability and really pick up for ourselves, because spring cleaning is upon us. Q2 is upon us. Sandwich has severe chronic lower back pain. And if you're not picking up after yourself, you're contributing to that. Can you live with yourself?
It's so true. Because obviously this is a comedy show, but it's also a job. It's not a job for just us. It's a job for you. As a Camp Shady Birch member, this is a career.
Yeah.
And you've locked in. And we're not supplying a 401k package. So that's on you.
We have no benefits whatsoever, except giggles. That's fun.
This is the weirdest job I've ever had. Obviously, doing content full time with wigs and bullshit is weird, but I think I get the creepiest on the show.
Yeah, I do too. But I love it. What other jobs have you gotten creepy at?
Oh my God, I've had so many creepy jobs. Have you had a lot of creepy jobs?
Yeah. I guess they're off.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a creep. Okay, I'm not the graveyard shift at the cemetery.
No,
that's creepy. No, I've just been the creepy person at my job. I've had a lot of jobs that I wasn't qualified for. That's for sure.
Let's go there. Let's talk about that.
One of my first jobs while I was in college that wasn't retail or something, I was a writer for a horoscope app. Have I talked about this on the show?
I don't think you have, and I think this is fascinating.
I looked it up on the train home. I knew I was going to talk about this today. The app doesn't exist, and if it does, I couldn't find it.
What was it called?
Horoscoper.
Oh.
Terrible name.
Horoscoper. So you were writing fraudulent horoscope.
Kind of. They were, I don't know how they were getting their information. They had access to a large packet of files and horoscope information from China.
What does that even mean?
I know. I don't know what it means. So I was hired as
You mean an email list?
No, it was basically they acquired some Chinese lore about what the horoscope was going to be for the following year. So these US app developers got the information from this Chinese developer.
Allegedly.
But the entire document, allegedly. The entire document. This was also 8 years ago. Eat my ass. Allegedly. The document was huge. Almost like a Bible. But it came completely in Chinese.
Oh, did you have to Google Translate?
I'm sorry, that was probably Mandarin, not just... Yeah, wouldn't it be Mandarin?
Yeah. Well, maybe. There's different dialects.
I'm not sure. I didn't translate it. Well, I did.
You did fraudulently.
No, they put all this through a big software, but it wasn't reading smooth, as most languages don't when you translate from one to the other. So I had to then take these big kind of like daily horoscopes, proofread them for like consistency, and then if it wasn't working, I was encouraged to rearrange things. So I was never...
Wait, how old are you at this point?
20.
Okay.
So no excuses. I could vote, I could be arrested, and I could do this. So I would get like, it would be literally like, okay, like it'd be like every sign the week of like April 8th through whatever. So I would get them every single day for every person, and I'd read them through. And for the most part, they were pretty good, but some of them would just, it wouldn't work, right? Like it'd be like, Leo, look out for signs of, and it would be like a weird word, but I'm like, I think what they meant was like signs of stress. So then I would kind of take creative liberties.
Okay.
But I've never been into astrology. I've never let where I was born in the world at a certain time lead my life. I think it's a fun little like cutie thing to do sometimes, and that's just my opinion. But like, I'm not going to be like, oh well, I won't date this person or I won't be friends with this person because they're a Sagittarius. Like that's a crazy way to live your life. I know shitty people on every single quadrant of the astrology calendar. It don't matter where they're from. People suck. So I suck, and I would change people's horoscopes for fun. But who was using this app, guys?
People were. You had a job. You were employed and getting paid. So there's that. So if somebody was like a Scorpio and they pissed you off, would you be like, all right, today's Scorpios are really going to get it?
I don't think I ever had time enough to be vindictive because it was like a side hustle thing, and they would give me huge packets with tiny deadlines. And I think I was just running through it. But I had the power to. But look at that.
Yeah.
I could have done something bad, and I didn't.
Okay, yes, I see where you're coming with that. But also, who's running the horoscopes that y'all are reading? Are you getting it from a place that a 20-year-old isn't just taking it from a Mandarin Bible?
It was a woman named, and I would message her on the Google chat with a bunch of us.
Did you meet the people in real life?
No, they just had colored icons. She was purple.
Interesting.
I applied to a remote position on Indeed.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe this is weird. Can I say the company name?
Yeah, I can bleep it out.
I believe the parent company was a company called T-Bubble.
That's T.
It was T, and that was my truth. So that was a weird job I had. I got paid for a while. I did it for like 6 months, and I was getting paid. The money cleared. I swear to God.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I had a career interviewing nuns at the nunnery.
See, and I was with you when this was happening. You were interviewing a lot of nuns on camera. Nuns, N-U-N-S. We're back on the habit.
And that wasn't just the only thing that I did, but it was, I needed a job, and I needed a job bad. And, this university needed me, and my superiors, my mother's superiors, were literally, I worked under the watching eye of nuns.
Wait, I love that because everyone's calling everybody mother right now in pop culture, but who is mother superior?
I had sisters everywhere. Hi, sister.
Once literally again, like, hey sis,
it's Christmas, you better cross me off your wish list.
Catholicism and gay culture really have a lot of duality, and no one will tell you that, but we will here on this show.
Yeah, and I definitely worked with some nuns that did not fuck with me, and I knew that for a fact. But
were they old?
That to myself. Yes, they were old. They were traditional, and I was very polite and very professional. But in my opinion, factually, in my opinion, I was like, if you want to keep this gig going, I'm trying to help you. Okay, I'm not trying to pull you out of any of your beliefs, but I'm just trying to help you guys keep it afloat. You got to get with the times. We need to stop wasting time making dumb shit on the internet, which is what they were mostly doing. And I really got a lot of pushback when I was trying to make some subtle changes. Some people were with it. Most people were not. It's just like so slow moving up there. I was like, sis, let me grab the habit and just take it on,
Yeah, you gave your feedback, and that's all you can do.
That's all I could do.
Old people are so interesting when they're homophobic. It's like, this is like not progressive of me at all. I give old people some grace sometimes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you grew up in a very different world. I'm not going to sit here and look at a 99-year-old man and be like, wear a pride flag and go to the gay march and go to the gay bar. You don't watch Drag Race? It's like, he don't like me, but you know what? He's dying. So I don't really care. Like, let him live the rest of his life out in peace. Like, I'm not asking someone that's 98 years old to be progressive towards the gay community. I'm not. Maybe that makes me an asshole. I don't care. One of my really good friends, her grandmother, I love her. She's very sweet, but I know that she don't fuck with me being being gay, and that's okay. She's like, I just don't understand it. And it's like, you know what? You don't have to understand it because you were born during the Great Depression. You've had to understand a lot in your life. You've seen a lot of war. And the gay community, I don't think you need to put that on your plate. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Okay, but at the same time, like, it comes to a point where I'm sick of giving grace.
No, you don't. Yeah, the thing is, like, I don't expect them to like support me, but at the end of the day, if I don't care about them, I don't have to like give that like respect your elders at that point. You know what I mean? That's what I'm
saying.
In the middle.
To some extent, it's like respect your elders, but it's like, I'll meet you in the middle. You don't want to meet me in the middle. Why am I respecting my elders?
Yeah, it's like, okay, you don't respect me. I don't respect you, but we can agree on that.
Yeah.
And that's friendship.
We can coexist and just not talk to each other, not fuck with each other. You don't understand why I kiss boys. I don't understand why you still wear that ugly ass fucking cardigan.
I know. I feel like gay people always have to water themselves down around certain people to make them comfortable. And it's something that we've like grown up to learn. And you know what though? When I was younger, I will say this, I was hot-headed. I was so ready to change the world and be that person. And you know what? At some point, you just get tired and you say, I'm going to live my life. If you don't want to be a part of it, that's fine. I don't care about you. You don't care about me. But am I out here trying to change the hearts of every single person in the world? No. I got other shit going on, as do the rest of you. If people don't fuck with you, let them be. Ignore it. Move it on.
I recently posted an ad, and I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'm talking about it now. It was boosted to a lot of homophobic people, which, you know, with our jobs and what we do, public facing, when we put things out of people who follow us, it usually reaches the proper audience. But when companies boost things, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it reaches an audience that would never see any of our stuff and really says some fucked up, hateful things. And, you know, that looks bad to the whole project as a whole. Like, the company isn't going to want to, you know, hire somebody like me if they're just getting hate commented on every single but that's kind of what I'm dealing with as of today. But like you said, it's like, you know, you want to spread love. You want to just convince people that everybody is fine and we can all coexist. But some people who say really hateful things, it's like, I don't think they have the mental capacity to fully understand that. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't have the brain cells. If it's truly ingrained in them, they're just kind of not going to be there.
Yeah, but it's not our responsibility
to
teach you how to be a human being. I am so beyond that. I do not care. If you don't like me, that's fine. Am I going to sit here and argue with you? No, baby. I'm booked. I'm busy. I'm blessed. And there's plenty of people who do like me. But the people who are so like that need to change everybody, you're only tiring yourself out. And I really do believe that. I was like that for a little bit. And then I realized it gets you nowhere. I lead with an apathetic sense of energy towards that. I just do.
Yeah. Hey, true. And for the record, the university I used to work for was not homophobic. I just worked with some people who I just got an inkling from.
For the record, my friend's grandmother, I do believe, is homophobic. And I'll go on record and say that.
Period.
Another weird job I had.
Okay.
was I was hired. This is crazy, you guys. Sometimes you shouldn't lie in an interview. And let's just say that for a minute. What's up with Excel? It's a really difficult program to understand. The people who do it well, you guys should start bragging about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because some people, like, they're good at it. They know all the tricks and the trades and the codes and the
formulas.
Thank you, the formulas.
Yeah.
I said I knew all those in an interview. She was like, "What's your experience with Excel?" And I was like, "Excel." I changed my middle name to Excel. That's how much I love her. We're getting what's it called when you get married on the go? Annulled? No, that's the opposite. Elope. Me and Excel, we eloped together last week in Vegas. We're obsessed with each other. So I got hired at an Ivy League school to do Excel. Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. This is an Ivy League school, guys. Emma Watson went there.
Mm-hmm.
Marinate on that for a minute. So I was hired to work in their like donation department, which I forgot what the correct term is called, but like it's where people
sacrifices.
No, it's where people go and they like all like the really rich people donate a lot of money into like their alma mater.
Oh yeah, we watched a documentary about that, but we won't get into that.
A very famous actress, I processed her $1 million donation.
Can you name drop?
I don't think I can. I can tell you off camera. She's blonde. She's married to a non-actor who also, I don't think she went there. I think he went there. Maybe she did. I'll look it up. She's blonde. She is not Leslie Mann, but think in that category and you'll get there. That's a really good guess. I mean, hint. So I had to process all these donations and like I wasn't like the banker, Mr. Monopoly Man. Give me the money. No, I was like just tracking shit. I'm not sure. Day 3, oh my God, I was just like in full panic on YouTube in my cubicle, like how to
Excel at Excel.
like they're like, well, what are you trying to do in Excel? I'm like, anything.
All of it.
I need to learn all of it immediately. It got so bad that they just kept demoting me. Like I don't think they could, I was a temporary position, but they just kept giving me smaller and smaller job tasks till at the end they're basically like, can you just like file some of this? And I was like, well, where are the cabinets? I didn't know anything. And the girl that was my boss, she was so nice. She was also kind of young, I feel. So I think she's just trying to be nice to me, but I was not qualified for that at all.
And that's why you shouldn't lie.
So you know how I got out of it?
How?
I'm so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed going there every single day. Like it was mortifying because I just knew that I was not gonna be able to do anything. And it looked so cute going to work every day. I was the skinniest I'd ever been. I had blonde hair, and I was wearing corporate casual, and I looked great. That was my only highlight. So like 4 weeks into the contract, and I think it was only I think it was a 9-week contract. I emailed them and said I totaled my car. And I could no longer get there. I was like,
but you didn't.
No, actually. I didn't total my car. But I was like, what's a way that like I could never get to Providence from New Bedford? Then she emails me back a bus route.
No.
She did. She's like, we'll pay you for your time on the bus. We're so sorry. We need your help. Like she was willing to pay me for the hours I was commuting.
Because she probably in her book was like, oh, this guy needs to get a new car. He probably needs this money.
And I was like, and I just didn't answer.
Oh.
I know. I'm embarrassed, but it all led me to here.
And we're here now.
To the camp of my dreams.
And we're here now.
I thought I was supposed to work for Brown University. No, I was supposed to be a camp counselor for Camp Shady Birch. And that's where life led me.
I love that. That's poetic.
Thank you. Wait, do you have any other like weird stories?
So speaking of Brown University, I had my own little visit to Brown, and it was in the Wendy's bathroom when I worked at Wendy's.
Foul.
Absolutely foul, absolutely disgusting. Definitely, I was not being paid enough for that job. But I had this new manager. His name was, maybe I'll bleep that out because he probably still works there. Sorry. But me and this girl that I was really tight with hated him so much. And he always made me and her do like the bitch work. Because everybody else who worked there I was cool with, but they got to do like the easy stuff. And
wait, I want the details. What is the easy stuff and what is the bitch work? Like what's the easy stuff at Wendy's?
Basically, her and I had to split who was cleaning the bathrooms and who was doing the dishes, even when we had a dish person.
The bad stuff. What's the good stuff? What's the easy stuff?
Not having to do that.
Okay, so can I ask some questions about the mechanics of the work of the kitchen?
Yes.
As someone who never worked there?
Yes.
What is it like? Like, where are all the meats in little drawers?
No, they were actually, they were in like a little cubby in a bin.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you get an order and it comes up and then you're like, it's like cooking mama.
Yes, it was fresh, never frozen. The thing that was the biggest bitch was the potatoes.
Why?
They're like 2 hours in the oven. So if you're like low on potatoes, people are ordering them. It's like, you gotta wait.
Potato.
A baked potato.
French fry for dinner.
No, the French fries were easy peasy, super easy to do.
But the one thing about a fast food restaurant is when they tell you they don't have something, you're just like, okay, like, what am I gonna fight you on it? You know what I mean? Like,
but like I was saying, me and that other girl, we were really tight and we hated our manager, and he was kind of new to actually the country. So her and I started like fake fighting to really disrupt, to shake things up.
Crazy.
It was crazy, but then he stopped making us do things together. He like stopped making us clean the bathrooms and do the dishes together, and I got my way. But when I say we were fighting, we were like, when there was no one in the dining room, we were like verbally screaming at each other. And we were on the same page that it was a joke. But everybody we were working with, including that manager, had no idea. They were like, he didn't know how to handle the situation because it was the gay and the girl.
I think like they're giving us the bitch work, the stuff that people didn't want. Meanwhile, you two are literally like having fake fights and swearing at each other. Like they're like probably like, get these two out of here, quit. You guys are like the crazy people.
You want to give us the bitch work? We're gonna act like the bitches we are.
When I first started working at AMC, the only one who'd befriend me was this girl, and I was like, oh, this is nice. Like she's the one being nice to me. And then I realized that the only reason she was being friends with me is because nobody liked her there.
Oh, and she was bad. She was awful.
And she was a bad worker. So then I associated myself with her from the very beginning because that was the one person who talked to me. And she told me that we could watch movies in between cleaning theaters. And then my boss walked into my second day of work and saw me sitting down in the theater watching a movie with my little broom in my hand. And he was like, Get the
Bad.
fuck up now.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, Katie said we can do this. Yeah, Katie, I'll say your name. And he was like, I almost got fired on spot. But then I told everybody what happened. And everyone's like, Katie is sabotaging you. And then everybody took me in my win. And then Katie was like, why aren't you talking to me anymore? I'm like, Katie, I'm making a choice right now. It's me or you. And I'm choosing myself. And I'm leaving you for everybody else. And then she quit. But that was on her. I couldn't go down on that sinking ship.
No, you can't. Just to be nice to somebody?
She's
no
an
way.
assistant manager at Eclairs now.
Piercing people.
Yeah, look.
Wow. One time I walked in and my boss was watching porn.
On that note, let's get into today's show. This episode of Camp Counselors is sponsored by BetterHelp. Campers, let's check in with our social battery. Look in the mirror. Are you drained? Are you just doing too much? Personally, I think it's really easy to ignore our social battery. We want to say yes to everything, and we have this incredible fear of FOMO. But eventually, that can catch up to you. And we need you down by the lake with a big turkey sandwich, some sunblock, and no stress about what's coming up on your calendar. Seriously, everybody needs time to socialize, and they need time to recharge. Therapy can give you the self-awareness to build a social life that doesn't drain your battery. To me, it's all about setting boundaries, and that's what's so great about working with a therapist. They can help identify and set those boundaries with you.
If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find your social sweet spot with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/camp to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/camp.
Attention campers, please meet at the old flagpole under the tall pine for morning announcements. Welcome back to Morning Announcements, campers. This is the part of the show where we share news with you that you might have missed that we want you to spread like wildfire. But before we start today's episode, I do have a little housekeeping.
Okay.
The race last week was the Spartan race. It was not Tough Mudder. I kept saying it wasn't Tough Mudder.
Okay.
And then I said another Greek race name, and that was Spartan adjacent.
Yeah.
And everybody on the YouTube comments was like, I kept shouting Spartan at home. And thank you. That is exactly what I was referring to in that segment, the Spartan race.
So, not to bring it back to an old job, but to bring it back to an old job, I did editing and podcast producing for a lawyer, and they had on one of the lawyers from the Spartan race, which, if you guys don't know, it's like a race. Everybody gets all muddy and dirty, and you jump through literally fire. Thinking legally, what goes into having a race like that with people in the public is crazy. You're having people jump through fire.
You just make everybody sign a waiver being like, we aren't at fault for literally anything in this property. That's on you.
Period.
And that's all.
And that's it.
That's it. It's like, okay, well, that was clear. It said everything on this property. Period.
Put that in an Excel spreadsheet. Also, wait, before I jump into it, sorry, another note. A lot of campers chimed in and had my back with almonds tasting like maraschino cherries. Almond liqueur, almond flavored croissants. Something about it tastes like a maraschino cherry.
Yeah, next time I have an almond croissant, I'm going to think about the maraschino while I'm eating it. And I'll let you know.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm not on your side.
Anyway, let me get into my story. Holy smokes, you guys. This might be old news, but it actually happened today as we record this. Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
So this is from my old local news station, 6 ABC Action News, Philadelphia. Thank you so much. Surprise! Puxatawny Phil and Phyllis welcome 2 baby groundhogs.
I did see this today online.
Oh, shit. So Puxatawny Phil, the world-famous Pennsylvania groundhog, is now a dad. Phil and Phyllis gave birth to 2 healthy baby groundhogs on Saturday, according to the Puxatawny Groundhog Club. How do we become a part of that?
Yeah, also, how old is Puxatawny Phil? I feel like he's always been that since I was a kid. Is he like 60?
But the club said he's officially 138 years old.
Hold up.
Puxatawny Phil's Groundhog Club previously said that Phil has never had any children. This, until now, Phil's longevity has come from drinking the elixir of life.
What's really happening here? I can't get down with this playfulness.
Truthfully, do you want me to break the lore for you? Do you want me to ruin the dreams of those who love February 2nd, the eve of your birthday?
Campers, please skip ahead 10 minutes if you don't like this. No, I need you to break it now, please.
They just replace him if he dies or gets too old and gets retired to a sanctuary. They buy they get another groundhog who auditions.
His child, the heir.
Yeah, but nobody while in office has had a baby. This is the first time. This is shocking. Now there's a family. There's a whole, oh my God, the merch that's going to come out from this.
Well, now there's a clear lineage. Now we have a bloodline that
God.
we can continue to fulfill, much like the royal court.
The story just continues. Let me read the Facebook post briefly.
Please.
We have babies. The Puxatawny Groundhog Club is very excited to announce that Phil and Phyllis have given birth to 2 healthy baby groundhogs.
As they should.
The babies are currently in with mom and dad at the zoo that is located at the Puxatawny Memorial Library. You got a zoo at the library? The fuck?
What?
I don't know. And can be viewed through the viewing window. Now, I love the picture that was posted is of the president of the Puxatawny Groundhog Club, and he's like next to it, but the babies aren't in the picture. It's a little self-indulgent, but I definitely feel that he's wearing a top hat. It's very in character. And then the pictures of the babies, the first ones that were released on Facebook, if I didn't tell you what you were looking at, you would have no idea. It was taken on like a Motorola, but
No. Do they look like kangaroo babies, like jelly beans?
no, babe, they were so cryptic. The picture's like blurry and pixelated, and it's just like you're looking at fur. You have no, it looks like crazy.
So we don't even know if this is even real.
Well, better pictures did come out of them later. Also, woodchucks was mentioned in this. Did you know groundhogs are woodchucks? I didn't know woodchucks were real.
My dad killed a woodchuck in our backyard.
Don't do this.
He did.
Also, here's another fun fact. Puxatawny lives at Gobbler's Knob is the name where the sanctuary is. Gobbler's Knob. It's like his own little paradise. Him and Phyllis, and now with the kids.
That's the name of every bathroom in a gay club I've ever been to.
Ew, Gobbler's Knob. So dirty. What else do I have written down that's really fun? The elixir of life. Okay, and then I just kind of made a note that people who celebrate Groundhog's Day or go to the celebration of Groundhog's Day are very Camp Counselor energy. It's like everybody's buying into this lore that usually isn't true. Like if he says that there's like 5 more weeks of summer, it's usually false.
Does everyone go, oh?
People are going to cheer either way, you know? He's like, oh, it's going to rain today. And then it never does, but he still comes back the next
He's
year.
just a groundhog.
Everybody's reading off of a scroll with cursive written on it.
Is it in the town of Puxatawny?
Mhm.
Have you been there?
No, I haven't. I had a teacher that would go there every year, and she would come late in the afternoon because it was at like the ass crack of dawn, and she would travel all the way to go see it, and then she would be like at school by the end of the day, and she would have like face paint on. I'm like, girl, just go home. Like,
Yeah, take a personal day. She's like, I'm taking half a day. It's like, girl, it's good. You chill.
so weird and crazy, but the lore of it all is very Camp Counselors.
It is.
So that is that's my story. I'm so eager to find out what their names are going to be. What do you think? What would you name them? Because we've got Phil and Phyllis, our mom and dad.
Yeah, well, Philip.
Okay. Philip Jr.
Okay, yeah, a junior. Come on, let's keep, because come on, it's Puxatawny Phil.
Yeah, that's fun.
Got to
That's
keep
easy.
the bloodline. And then if I'm assuming it's a girl,
It could be.
Patty,
Patricia.
Patricia. I like the full name for them.
Yeah.
So
that's
it'd be Philip, Phyllis, Philip Jr., and Patricia. Look at you mouthing the words.
cute. Was I? Okay, what's your story?
My article is from The Guardian, written by Andrew Messenger. The title is Man Rescued After 36 Hours in Stormwater Drain in Brisbane's Kangaroo Point, Allegedly Evaded Police. It's quite the tale.
Okay.
The 38-year-old man who was helped out of the drain in Kangaroo Point by firefighters at about 11 a.m. on Monday. So that was the man. He told emergency services that he had been stuck there for about 36 hours and claimed to have been retrieving the phone. But in a new twist, Queensland police this afternoon alleged the man was a passenger in a vehicle involved in two car crashes in the suburb at 4:20 a.m. on Sunday morning.
Oh, so he was hiding out. So he was caught, and he was like, "Oh, I was just getting me phone."
Yes.
And they're like, "No, you weren't. You were hiding out from the police."
Well, he got in 2 car crashes at 4:20 in the morning, and
Blazer.
then hid in a storm drain. But then was like, "Help me!" because he couldn't get out.
Oh my God, that's scary.
So a patrol attempted to follow a Ford Falcon in Anderson Street, in Kangaroo Point, when it reversed and crashed into the police car. It caused substantial damage to the Ford and moderate damage to the police vehicle. Officers were uninjured. The Ford then allegedly fled the area after hitting a cop car, before becoming involved in a second car crash on Shaftston Avenue a short time later. The occupants of the Ford then allegedly fled the area on foot. Hit the cop car, hit another car, then ran. It is understood that the man has been offered rescued on Sunday, but turned it down. But then the same person returned again on Monday and called 000.
What's 000?
Isn't that
The
crazy?
boss?
That's 911 in Australia.
It's easier to remember.
000.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but it makes the most sense. Like,
That-
why 911?
Well, that might be my favorite part of the article because I did not know that 000 was the Australian 911.
So how long was he in the storm drain?
36 hours. But I love that somebody found him on Sunday. He was like, "Are you good?" He was like, "Get away from me." And the person on Monday came back and they're like, "Are you still down there?" He's like, "Fine, let me out."
I wonder if he was drunk or tripping balls and he was like waiting to let it dissipate.
That's exactly what everybody on Reddit was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
The rescue operation took barely 5 minutes when 2 Queensland Fire emergency service crew members dispatched to the scene. Firefighters simply lifted the lid of the drain so the man could climb out. The man was taken to the hospital, reportedly in stable condition, where he was treated for abrasions and exposure to the cold. So that night, it did rain. Like, not a lot, but it did rain, and it activated some form of hypothermia for him while he was living in the sewers.
Ew, what a weird, creepy little rat.
And he's like, "Oh, I was down there for 36 hours looking for my phone." And they're like, "No, you're not. You were the passenger in that car that hit us." He's like, "I don't know.
Shit, you fucking got me, guys."
Isn't that a crazy story, though?
That is, are there pictures of it? Because I'm picturing it in my mind's eye and it's
No.
really crazy. There's no picture of it. Damn it.
They basically just used like a royalty-free image of a storm drain.
That is so annoying when they do it. It's like, show me. I want to see him coming out holding onto the crane for his goddamn life.
The cop said it's amazing what people will do sometimes and what happens. So yes, there's always surprises. I'm like, that's a whole lot of nothing in a sentence. I like that.
Grab your bug juice and bear spray, campers. It's time to pack it up and take a hike.
Welcome back to Take a Hike. This is the part of the show where we bitch a little and we tell something to take a hike.
Amen.
Campers, I'm going to be fully transparent. We just recorded this segment and Zach goes, "Wait, I already did that one." So I'll just brief you on what I did choose to do. When escalators don't work, and you did in fact do this less than a year ago, but it's just so embarrassing when one escalator doesn't work and the
It's
other side
mortifying.
works. It's like I'm breaking a sweat over here walking up these stairs that should be moving while everybody else is relaxing. It's really unfair. It's not American, but that's life, I guess. So now I have a new one. What am I telling to take a hike this week?
Tell him. What it
It's
is.
just what came to mind, okay? People who make watermelon fries. People who cut up little pieces of watermelon and they call it a watermelon fry. And they make a little tincture cup and they dip it in some healthy yogurt bullshit and they call it an aioli. It's not fries, it's still a watermelon. And I feel passionate about it. I saw it on TikTok. I see that someone's on their health journey, but let's call it what it is because it's not a fry.
So should we not call a vegetarian chicken nuggets because it's not a chicken nugget?
That's fine by me. We don't have to call it that. We can call it veggie trinkets.
So we're here we go. So we're your take a hike is watermelon fries.
Yes,
I'm
watermelon
gonna be-
fries, point blank, period. It's rebranding things that are healthy and healthier choices, which I'm down with.
So it's not a take a hike.
No, my take a hike is naming it something crazy. If you have a fucking watermelon, like a watermelon slice, and I've seen this too, this was on a mukbang before, and you have like little berries and strawberries on it, and you call it a watermelon pizza, it's not a watermelon pizza. It's just like one step away from a fruit salad.
I guess I think the lines are blurred on this one. I'm gonna be honest with you. We just had a couple companies get up. I'm not interacting with watermelon fries ever. I don't think I've ever seen this before.
It was a trend that was going around. She had like 2.5 million likes, which go off, girl. But I'm over it.
What other fruit could we cut up into the shape of fries?
Lemon.
Lemon fries. Oh, lime fries.
It's gross.
Pear fry.
You hate pears. I love a pear. I'm being honest. This is real. This is raw. This is me. That's really what I have to say on the matter.
That's fine. You said it and you spoke your piece. And someone out there just unsubscribed.
Thank you. I was fully prepared to talk shit on escalators.
It's fine. You're good.
Okay. What are you telling to take a hike?
When unidentified water drips on me outside.
Okay.
I think it's not only disgusting, it's mysterious, and it causes a really deep sense of panic inside of me for the next hour as I process what just happened, where did that come from, and what was in it.
Let's give a setting.
Yep. So today I was leaving a podcast interview and I was going back to the train, and it has been raining in New York. It's raining every fucking day here. But this was the amount of water that hit my shoulder as I exited like a corner. I rounded a corner, I guess.
Mhm.
It was a solid stream, almost like a hose
Ew.
on low power. It was not a rain. It was like almost, was it a downspout of a gutter? I'm not sure, but I was looking ahead of me the entire time and it wasn't a continuous flow. So whatever hit my shoulder was fresh from something, and I'm not sure. It wasn't bodily, but that's the thing is I don't know what it was.
Maybe it was like mouthwash. Maybe somebody was like gurgling.
No, it
and
was clear.
Spitting mouthwash out their window.
It was clear. I didn't see any blue Listerine. No, it's just shocking, and I hate that. It happens to everybody. When you're like walking somewhere and a drip happens on you, you're like, what was that?
Yeah, like it's different if you're in a cornfield. It's like that was most likely rain. But if you're in the city, especially in the summer when people have their window units in, and window units have the nasty condensation that are just covered in dirt and all that other bullshit. When you're walking in Manhattan in the summer and you get a wet droplet on you and it's already stinky out, what was that?
At least that I know where it's coming from. It's an AC droplet. But
It's not always AC though. It's still a mystery unless you watch it with your very own eyes.
I'm telling you, I have no idea what this was, and it was scary.
So, what's it like to be the mom of 4 little girls and the wife of an NFL quarterback? Well, it's absolute insanity in the best possible way. But you can hear that for yourself when you listen to my podcast, The Morning After, with me, Kelly Stafford. And yes, Matthew joins sometimes too. It's parenting, it's marriage, it's friendships, and it's football. It's our life. So check out The Morning After with me, Kelly Stafford, at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you listen to your podcast.
Do you think the new counselor likes the top bunk or the bottom bunk? Over.
Either way, I'm giving them my boondoggle keychain. Over.
Welcome back to Camper Crush of the Week, campers. Woo-hoo. Who you crushing on, Jonathan?
I'm crushing on punch cards. When you go to the shop and they're like, oh, you've bought 4 frozen yogurts, your 5th one's going to be free. And you get a punch card and they punch it out with the hole puncher that has a little special heart or something. Damn, do I love those things. Back in high school, I used to go to Hot Topic all the time and I would get my little Hot Topic punch card done. And I had like 6 different ones. I loved collecting them. You had to do 10 and then you would get like a gift card. But sometimes I learned in redeeming these points that it felt better to build up the holes in the punch card than it did to redeem the gift card.
How much was the gift card for?
Maybe like $5.
Still a nice gesture, I guess.
It's a nice gesture, especially if I'm a frequent flyer there. You know who doesn't like punch cards?
Yeah.
Landlords. It's like, oh, you're a returning customer and I know that you're a good person and you've been living here for a while. I'm going to raise the rent.
Landlords should give out Christmas gifts and it should be a free month of rent.
That would be kind.
Wouldn't that be a sweet gesture, landlords? Think about that. I've never had a physical punch card. I've had a stamp card. I've had a digital card.
Wait, what's a stamp card?
Like same thing as a punch card, but they stamp it instead of the little.
Oh, well, that works.
Yeah,
too.
but there's something satisfying about that Polar Express ass clip.
Yes, that's what it is. It's Polar Express energy. When I got my ear pierced, I got the little punch card, and I had 2 of them. I'm like, do I combine them? Do I keep them separately and just use one as a bookmark?
How many piercings are you looking to get?
Well, you get a free, instead of piercing, you get a free, actually...
A jewel.
A jewel. Yeah, You get free jewelry from it.
I like the mobile ones. Those are easy to keep track of. They stay in my Apple Wallet.
And it does it automatically. Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
I hate when people are like, oh, would you get $5 free? I'm like, how many businesses aren't doing that? So I'm always okay with a little punch card moment. I
love a punch card moment. And it really is, to me at least, the anticipation of like getting something that is better than actually getting something. Like today, I ordered shirts, 5 plain black t-shirts, and I was tracking it online like a goddamn US spy. But then it finally got here and I'm like, okay, like it's here. I just redeemed my punch card, like I'm over it,
See, I'm not going to agree with you on that one.
Hey, Miley Cyrus does, because bitch, it's the climb.
Okay.
And that's what she wrote the song about, punch cards, really and truly.
when I got there, well, there's this coffee shop near us that has a punch card kind of phenomenon going on there. And when I went there, he was like, "Oh, do you want a card?" And I was like, "Yeah." And but before I got a cold brew. It was in this big like canister, and he poured me the cold brew. It was the end of the cold brew. And then he was like, "Oh, do you want a punch card?" I was like, "Yeah." So he put 2 stamps on it for me.
Oh.
I thought that was nice. And then, Jonathan, don't be weird about it. That's just what happened.
No, I'm not being weird about it. It's just his face is the card and my fist is the punch. Like, it's fine. It's totally fine.
So I take a sip of the cold brew.
Mm-hmm.
You know why I got 2 stamps?
Why? Because it was ass?
It was the bottom of the cold brew. I take one sip of it. It was coffee grounds in my throat. It was like you couldn't even eat it. You couldn't get. I mean, I had to throw it out.
That's a take a hike when you have to chew your coffee. That should not have been given to you.
And that's why I don't think he was being flirty. I think he felt bad and was like, "Here's 2."
Why would he even do that then? Just like give me a freshie. That's bad business.
It was the end of the barrel. So I think, or just come to me and be like, "Oh, it's not good. Like, do you want something else?" But I already paid. He's panicking.
Give a little fruit cup. I don't know, maybe some watermelon fries. So that is my crush of the week. A cute little punch card. We need to do more of those.
I agree.
Let's do more punch cards. So what are you crushing on? What have you been thinking about besides that barista?
I had a crazy day today. Heather McMahan, the amazing comedian, podcaster, overall amazing person, DM'd me a couple weeks ago and was like, "Oh, will you come on my show when I'm in New York?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, give me your email and I'll have like my people set it up." So they did. And in my head, I thought it wasn't confirmed. It was, looking back at the emails, but I was like, "Oh, maybe she got busy and she can't do it this week." I get an email an hour and 10 minutes before I'm supposed to be there being like, or an hour and 20 minutes before I'm supposed to be there. "Hey, can't wait to see you soon. Like, 2:00 is great. We'll see you soon." I'm like, fuck. Wasn't showered, shaved, dressed, out the door, and 10 minutes into an Uber. I was already like overwhelmed because I was just running around the room. And on the way there, I'm in this Uber and I was so nauseous because it was stop and go. It took us an hour to get there. I'm eating my granola bars. I got chocolate on my shirt from the fucking granola bars. I'm like, this is so hectic and chaotic right now. We're 10 minutes out, but I'm only 0.3 miles away from the studio that we're recording at. It's now 2:00. I get out of the car. I'm like, I'm running. I run to the middle of Times Square. I'm looking above the American Eagle. I'm like, where the fuck is the studio? I can't find the entrance. I'm calling the producer, yada, yada, yada. I end up getting into the space. I am 20 minutes late and I'm never late for anything like this. I'm so stressed. I walk in there. Heather, thank God, is hungover from her incredible night and performance the day before.
Oh, thank God.
She was not in a rush to get started. She was sipping her tea. The Advil was on the counter and she was just happy to see me. And I was so grateful that it wasn't like I walked in, they were like, "Okay, take your coat off, let's go." Like, and they weren't behind schedule.
Yeah, can you imagine if she was like tapping a pencil, or if like a producer was tapping a pencil and you're late to something?
It typically is like that though, because people are on a schedule, and it doesn't matter why I was late. It's the fact that I was late. So it's like, you know what I mean? There was reasons, but that's on me. It was poor time management on myself. But I lucked out so hard for her, like not even caring at all and being so chill. So we get on set and I did her entire show and it was so great. And I admire her so much. A lot of you know that I am writing a comedy show right now that's going to come out in the beginning of the summer. We did the live show. So I'm super excited about doing a live show. So I was talking to her about that and like my fears and insecurities and opinions. And she isn't a gatekeeper. She was giving me great feedback and is such a supportive person that is a big fan of me and believes I can do it. And then after we wrapped, we talked for another 10 minutes and she took my phone and I have her personal number now and her email address. And she's like, "If you want to run lines by me and jokes by me or do work together, like I'd love to like hang out again." And I'm so grateful that she was great. And we were talking about like, oh, sometimes they always say like, never meet your heroes because you'll be disappointed. But she is a personal hero to me, especially in this space. And she was so great and so funny. So I'm going to be on her episode, I think in 2 weeks. I'm not sure when. Her show's called Absolutely Not. Mm-hmm. It's a Dear Media show, but it's so funny. She lives in Atlanta, but she was in New York. So they recorded in the studio here. So I was so happy to finally meet her. Someone who I like watched on the internet. She just did all of like E's red carpets at the Oscars, Emmys. She did all those, the Grammys. She did all 3 of them.
Well, I'm so glad you finally got to meet her. And I'm glad that she was as cool as anticipated because some people are not.
Like we talked about the meeting of the show. It's like, I don't care if you don't respect me, I don't respect you. But I do respect her. And it was nice for her to respect me back. like, you know what I mean? Because there's no skin in the game for her to care about who I am. She's like, okay, like there's levels to everything, right? She's got 2 Netflix specials. She tours the country. I'm doing my TikToks. So like, and I want to be where she's at. So to have someone that is doing it so flawlessly, look at me and be like, yeah, you got this for sure. Text me if you have a joke and you want to run it by me. I'll help you with anything. And like, just so funny and down for the joke. So it's gonna be a fun episode. I was being creepy because once I got in there, I was like, listen, you can't be late and boring. You have to be funny. Yeah. So I was.
You're always good at like riffing and just like shooting the shit too.
Well, she started off with a joke about Virginia Slims, and I was like, "Listen, I love a menthol," and I was like talking about. She's like, "What's your favorite cigarette?" I said a Marlboro Menthol Light. She goes, "White trash," and I was like, "Ever had a Camel Crush?" She's like, "I'm from the South. Of course, I had a fucking Camel Crush."
I love that was my cigarette of choice.
I know.
It was just so fresh when you would pop that little bubble. That's giving mouthwash. That's giving Listerine.
I told her that I had a lot of experience stealing things.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not proud of, but I'm honest about it. She's like, I've never sold anything in my life. I'm like, well, here I am.
Like, okay, well, let's wrap that conversation up.
No, she was great. And she's so funny. Her Netflix specials are amazing.
Yeah, and we'll link whenever the episode comes out. I'll like go back and I'll link it down in the show notes. So if you're listening to this later in time, hey, check the show notes. The episode might be out.
Yeah.
What song's been stuck in your head all week? Welcome to Camp Songs.
Welcome back to Camp Songs. Wow. Are you feeling musical?
I'm feeling melodic.
Well, can you tell me your camp song?
My camp song, I don't even know why I chose this, but I have a little playlist on the side of like songs that I want to do. And when I'm on Scramble and I'm listening to a song, I'm like, oh, I should put this on the playlist. Like,
I love that you say scramble, not shuffle.
It's because one time my history teacher in high school said scramble and he didn't mean it ironically when I say, like, it's really just a habit at this point because it's so dumb to say. I'm aware that it's shuffle. I know it's an iPod shuffle, but it's called an iPod scramble. It's fun, isn't it?
So the bit became real life.
The bit became real life because I really didn't even think about saying that. It just fell out of me like a fart on the floor. Anyway, my song is Touch by Pia Mia.
Your first TikTok.
It's privated. My first TikTok. Well, the music's probably taken off of it now. It was back when it was Musical.ly.
But she's always been independent.
Okay, if you guys don't know who Pia Mia is, you probably don't know the song, but Pia Mia was one of Kylie Jenner's friends, and she would end up in Kylie's like Snapchats. And hey, I was the King Kylie era. I was into it at the time. Obviously, I was like, should I dye my hair blue?
Yeah, she was like in that Vine era, like socialite kind of like, but she was a singer too.
Exactly. And she was over at the Kardashians for some dinner. I don't know what they were there for. But they asked her to sing As the Tale Goes. They asked Pia Mia to sing, what song was it? I wrote it down. Drake's Just Hold On, We're Going Home. And Kim Kardashian was filming it and put it on YouTube, which then launched her into like musical stardom. Like she was a musician, but that's where I found her. So that's where she really gained a lot of popularity. Yeah. Her and Kylie kind of had a falling out. I couldn't figure out why. I think there was a fight with somebody. I don't know. She took something. I don't know, but they unfollowed each other. So like they are not on talking terms at all.
I was just going to say, like, how do we know they had a fight? But when you unfollow somebody, like, think about it. Campers, when was the last time you unfollowed somebody? And that was bad blood. Mm-hmm. Honestly, sometimes I love when you unfollow somebody and you're like, I'm just bored of you.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be.
A girl from high school I unfollowed the other day. And not because I have anything against her. I'm just like, girl, I haven't seen you in 10 years and I don't need to see your Labrador anymore. I'm sorry. I just don't. But I hope she didn't notice.
A girl I used to work with has one of those apps that alerts you.
That's bad.
And I unfollowed her because 1, she doesn't post. 2, I worked with her for like a year. 3, she was a very nice person, but she definitely used me for rides home, always promised me gas money, never gave me gas money. I don't care. It's in the past, but I don't need to continue following you. Like whatever. She confronted me. She DM'd me and said, why'd you unfollow me? And I was straight up with her.
What did you say?
I haven't seen you or talked to you in years. I really wish you the best. There's nothing wrong. I'm not unfollowing you for any nefarious reason. I'm just not interested, bitch. Sorry.
Yeah, you have to be bold with that. But she's even being bolder for Boulder, Colorado. She's even being bolder for calling you out. Because then it's like, you have to respect that too. Because you unfollowed her, but she's like, you're going to tell me why. And then she has to be willing to accept the response.
Yeah. And she read it, but didn't say anything.
So we're going to hack Pia Mia's account and then text Kylie and say, Why'd
you unfollow me?
And Kaya's like, you know why.
Or it could have been the other way around. Who unfollowed who first?
Please.
So let me tell you a little bit Let me tell you something about Pia Mia, okay? She wrote a book.
What's it called?
You can read the first 3 chapters online for free on Wattpad. Are you familiar with it?
That is Wattpad.
Whichever. So it's called The Princess Diaries, Sand, Glitter, and Silicone. If you guys don't know about Wattpad, whatever the fuck you call it, like pretty much teens would go there in like the mid 2010s and just write fanfics about people, specifically like One Direction. So this is kind of like one of those is what I was getting the gist of. I didn't really read it, but she was in a movie called After. Do you know about this? So she's in a movie. She plays a character named Tristan, and After was on Netflix in 2019. That is based on a Wattpad from 2013 by the same title by some girl who wrote some horny fan fiction about One Direction.
Well, it's kind of cool that like those kind of websites, it's basically like TikTok, right? For writers, like you throw stuff out there, see if it goes viral, see if people like it, but it's really hard to break into certain industries. So if you can't find a publisher, but you can publish your stuff online and see if people like it, like go for it. And then PME will be in your movie. So if you guys have a horny fan fiction and you've been holding on to it in a journal, let's get that digitized and get it on Wattpad.
Wattpad. I don't know how to pronounce it. They should have marketed it as something else. I don't know. But also that movie, The Idea of You, the Anne Hathaway movie that just came out. It's written by a different author, but it's allegedly loosely based on very similar things about like
PMEO?
No, not PMEO. Harry Styles and One Direction.
I want an Anne Hathaway movie about PMEO. I don't know who Anne Hathaway is going to play. Maybe she'll play Pia.
She could.
She could play anyone she wants. That's a crossover I need. Anne Hathaway and Pia Mia 2024.
She had written that book years ago, back in 2020. I hadn't heard anything about it. So I go on her Instagram today to see like what she's up to. Literally yesterday, she posts her book has been published. That book I was just talking about from
You got to
2020.
get it.
I think I should. It's probably not good, but you know me, I love that. I'm really looking into Amish smut. I found an author.
You've been buying a lot of books. You need to start them.
Right? I'm buying all these books. Bitch, for what? I need to finish what I started.
I agree.
By Newfound Glory. So what are you, what's your camp song? What are you camp songing?
I'm camp songing this week. All Yourn by Tyler Childers.
Love that. That sounds like something you and I would say to each other, like with a mouthful of peanut butter. All Yourn.
God, I love this country, man. I really do. It's crazy. This song came out in 2019. I didn't know who Tyler Childers was until last year. And I liked him so much that he was in my top artists on Spotify.
Wow.
I think he was number 2 or number 3. Isn't that
right
crazy?
after Noah Khan.
Yeah, no, it was number 1, but I was in like my folk era, and I still am. I always will be. But I just like love this man's music, and the song I put on before was like a new release song, but I don't listen to that one as much. Like I listen to this one all the time. It's his number 1 stream song on Spotify with like 318 million streams.
Yeah, now
crazy.
This one I do know. I didn't know of his existence until you brought it up last summer.
Yeah, we're new to the game because this was his second album. He already had hits before this. This was 2019. We're late to the Tyler Childers.
One thing about us, we're usually going to be late to the game. Survivor.
Well, when you put it that way. Should I sing a little bit to it?
Please.
So I love you till my lungs give out. I ain't lying. I'm all yours. You're all mine. That's my country voice.
That's pretty. I like that.
He has like a very like interesting voice. It sounds like something that would sound really good with a banjo.
Yeah, it's very country folk.
It's Appalachia. It's not Appalachian Mountains. That's Appalachia. Speaking of Appalachia, oh my God. Are we aware as a country what's going on in Appalachia? We do not talk about it.
Yeah, I think strategically a lot of people don't talk about it on purpose.
Why?
I don't know. It's just an issue that people don't want to deal with.
We have to deal with Appalachia as a country. People don't have running water and electricity in our own nation. You know who's always championed Appalachia? The Cyruses.
Oh.
Miley and Billy Ray, when they were on speaking terms right after the success of Hannah Montana, were doing like community work to get people access up there. Like people, like I'm not joking. It's crazy. Have you ever seen Winter's Bone with Jennifer Lawrence?
No.
Her first movie that was, well, not her first, but like her Oscar nominee movie that like launched the start of her career Winter's Bone?
Takes place-
Appalachia. Appalachia's no joke, you guys. So stop joking about it. But his voice really gives Appalachia to me.
Okay. You love that.
Kentucky Bourbon? Anybody?
Kentucky Bourbon.
The video is so crazy, which is so funny because I've never seen the video until this year.
Take us there.
I thought the song, because it's like there ain't two ways around it. There ain't no trying about it. I'm all yours and you're all mine. I thought this was like a love song to his wife or whatever, which I guess it kind of can be. He's never like specifically said what it's about, but the entire music video is this guy in the woods hits this entire, like this bong the size of a tree, gets fucked up because a weird moth gets in the bong, and he starts tripping his balls off in the woods, and all these like animals and creatures are turning into like crazy figurines. And at one point he falls through a hole into a bar, and everybody in the bar is played by Tyle Childers. He's playing all like the supporting characters. At one point he shows up as a woman with a mustache and like this leopard print top, and I'm like, that's someone I want to recreate for a character. And it's just this crazy bar scene, but he's like on psychedelics, so, or like weed or whatever. So everyone's saying like this is actually a love
He's
song.
on the pot.
Everyone's saying this is a love song for marijuana.
You know who would know exactly what it's about? Genius Lyrics. Genius.com.
Genius said it's both. I looked it up.
How mysterious.
So Genius, I don't know if it can be trusted. So there was an article on Rolling Stone about it, and it was short.
Oh.
And they tried to block me.
Who?
Rolling Stone.
From what?
Reading the article, they wanted me to subscribe.
Oh, the paywall.
But I know what 12-foot ladder is. So it wasn't even worth it. It was not even worth it.
What did they say? Were they trying to like get to the bottom of who's the genius behind Genius?
No, so Rolling Stone was basically just saying like, oh, new video out. It was like new news at the time. But no one's done a deep dive of like what's happening here. So I think it's about his relationship with marijuana. I'll love you till my lungs give out.
Mary Jane.
It was funny. It's a cool video. I'll show you later because it's production wise really well done, and he's so funny. And like we talked about last time, he had a gay couple in that video. He is dressed up as a woman in this video. I think he's very comfortable with himself and his sexuality and pushes gender norms in a really interesting way in country music when a lot of people in that industry are not. Especially in like this kind of folky category. So I love him. I love him so much.
I love that. We'll have to give it a little watch later.
That's my song of the week. And I think that's all we have for today's episode.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching / listening / tuning in. I said tuning in and it didn't come out right.
How'd you say it?
I literally just said tuning in, and I just feel like that's such an old person way of saying things.
You need a glass of warm milk, a hot compress, and maybe some tea cookies, and you'll get back on your feet.
And my iPod scramble. So give us a 5-star rating and review if you can. We would greatly appreciate it.
And with that being said, lights out, campers.